All right, we're in round 2 of our league, and yes, we can keep this. No blue mana, but we're a mana away. We're running 26 lands, first and foremost, which is a lot. 26 is nothing to scoff at. We have a lot of blue mana in this deck, and we have a Grasp of Darkness to give us some early protection, as well as to Read the Bones, even if we were to draw another black mana. So this hand is absolutely a keep for all of those reasons. Hey, what do you know? All right, so I did the blue mana because we have the Clash of Wills, which I presume is better to leave up on turn 2 than a Grasp. Okay. So, whoa. Click through a little quick there. Let's do Read the Bones now. With no pressure, it just sort of makes sense to me. So 2 more lands. I don't think I mind taking the Choked Estuary, so we'll keep one of the lands and... Okay. I'm fine with that. Still no play. All right. Well, we are in no rush, so we're going to start chilling out. I presume if our opponent's not doing anything by now, they've got some big plays they're going to be doing later. So, geez. Opponent's just not doing anything. Is that right? So, I guess at this point we can pieces, although I'll have to discard, I guess. The thing is, we can pieces and leave up a Clash, which I kind of like. But I think we'll wait. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess we can pieces. Let's just do it. We'll have to discard, I guess, but... so we have Grasp, we have Ruinous Path. I don't think we'll be needing to Languish, but do I really need an Anticipate either? Probably not. I guess I'm not discarding a land, so what am I discarding? I guess I'm discarding one of the cards that I'm taking here, so I might as well just take Void Shatter and Anticipate, because I'm probably just going to discard it anyway. And then we'll pass. And I guess, yeah, I'll discard the Anticipate, since I basically have everything I would possibly need in my hand here. Multiple counter spells, multiple removal spells, find anything in the deck, and win con. So we're going to clash that. I'm glad they did not have the land there. That would have been a lot worse for us if they did. Although we have the Ruinous Path, so I guess ultimately we would have been okay. Alright, we can actually play Blighted Fen because it threatens to kill his Shambling Vent if he activates it. Okay, so we'll Void Shatter that. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So, I want to be able to rise and leave up Grasp of Darkness mana so I can kill my own token if my opponent were to, say, have a way to deal with the rise. But we've got such a good rise going, I'm just going to force them to have the good stuff right here. So they need Declaration. If they do have Declaration, I still have Dark Petition, so not a huge deal. Ah, they have a Languish of their own. Okay. So I can my opponent's got 7 cards in hand though, so it may make more sense. And it's 7 spells too, keep that in mind. So I guess we can actually Dark Petition for Possessed Scab and get back our Rise from the Tides. I think that actually makes sense because what I like about it is it gives us something on the board. I mean, Crush dies to spot removal anyway. So I don't think we're going to be able to go infinite on that this time around. I need some hand disruption too, but searching for hand disruption seems bad. I think I actually take Possessed Scab, and I could actually cast another pieces of the puzzle to get some more card advantage, which might actually just be the best play now that I think about it. Like, Rise from the Tides is ultimately what I want, but I think this is actually a good time to be getting some card advantage. So we can do pieces, or we can do Read the Bones. I guess Read the Bones can't miss. So let's do Read the Bones. We already have enough in graveyard to easily win with Rise from the Tides. So basically, yeah, this is a bit odd, but we're doing Read the Bones because all right, so we are going to kill Gideon again. Again. This is the third Gideon we've dealt with. All right. So why don't we read first? Dark Petition and Ultimate Price. Both those cards seem fine, but we probably don't need the Ultimate Price. Although we don't need a lot more lands. Let's just get rid of... What am I looking for instead? I guess... I don't want more lands, but I don't really want the Ultimate Price. If my opponent were to, say, have Avacyn, I'd want it. But, oh, well, we can Silumgar's Command too, I see. Well, in that case, maybe it is in our best interest to just destroy target Planeswalker and kill the creature. And attack. So our opponent can attack us with a Shambling Vent, but I remain unconvinced that I'm scared of that, because that means our opponent's not doing anything else. So I can Dark Petition for Crush now, which is probably what I want to do. If they don't take Dark Petition, that would be strange. Because I don't think they care about Languish, and they probably don't care too much about Grasp. Ruinous Path is something that they might fear, but like I said, if I can Dark Petition... Okay. That makes sense to me. Okay, using the Languish, exiling our Possessed Scab. So we still have a Rise from the Tides, and we still have a Ruinous Path and a Crush of Tentacles to win. So we certainly have ways to win, but we actually need some hand disruption here. Because we have to play around... I guess we take another Grasp. I don't really need lands. So yeah, we're looking for Transgresses. Obnixilis, sure. All right, so we're going to Ruinous Path. That and attack. There's our Horizon of Tides. I think on that one we have to wait, though, since at this point... at this point, I think it just makes more sense to wait on that. We basically, once we get a Transgress and we see how many more languages are in our opponent's hand, we can do the Rise from the Tides. All right. No transgresses yet. So yes, still waiting on the Rise from Tides. If our opponent transgresses us, we're in some trouble, I guess, but... Ah, Westphal Abbey, okay. Then Vala. So our opponent's going to gain some life. But we have Blighted Fen, which is kind of the good news. So we're going to use our Blighted Fen and save our grasps. Our opponent gaining life is not a big deal. Silmgar's Command's a good draw. Wait, do I have the mana? 8, 9, 10. So I guess because I sacrificed the Blighted Fen, I don't have the mana to play Rise from the Tides and leave up Silmgar's Command, but that's easily remedied next turn. Oh, finally, Transgress. Jeez, been waiting. What are we dealing with? Planar Outburst, Anguished Unmaking, Read the Bones, and Secure the Wastes. So our opponent is planning on securing some wastes. So for that reason, we're going to take the Planar Outburst, and we're going to leave up the command to deal with the... Oh, I should have written all that down. I forgot. So our opponent's going to cast Secure the Wastes. We probably don't have to write that down. Anguished Unmaking... Ultimate Price. These cards really don't matter. Spot removal is nothing that we fear. Declaration of Not is just about it. So Read the Bones, which they didn't cast, which is kind of strange. Okay. So Anguish Unmaking, Ultimate Price, Read the Bones. So they are going to get Read the Bones, but that's okay. So I guess we'll bounce the Shambling Vent. But the good news is we are going to be able to cast our Rise from the Tides. The bad news is our opponent has Read the Bones, which means could very easily find another Languish. And once we lose our Rise from the Tides, we are officially out of non-spot removal win cons. So we may just have to... Yeah, especially after double read. That gets a little bit more sketchy. I'm curious if they would keep Languishes. The Languishes have certainly been useful for them so far. Obviously, I want another Hand Disruption to see what I'm dealing with, but I think we're going to go for Rise from the Tides. The reason is, if my opponent has another Secure, or if they have Obnixilis, there's just a lot of things that we fear. They have only played, they also probably have Planar Outbursts in there too. Jeez. Maybe we do have to wait. I need another Transgress. I need to know what we're dealing with here. I have plenty of pieces of the puzzle that I can draw. I also don't want to get transgressed, I guess. It's odd to me that they're activating Shambling Vent. That kind of tells me they have a grip full of removal, which I presume means... Ah, there we go. Waiting for that. So let's dump these two. There's our Transgress. Let's see what we're dealing with. Languish, Ruinous Path, Grasp, Ultimate Price. Great. So let's get rid of the Languish, cast the Rise, and pass. So they could have secure the wastes, but they won't have enough, especially with our removal, to stop the onslaught here. Okay. So we did use a lot of time that round, but I feel a lot better about this match post-sideboard because we're going to have a lot of hand disruption and counter spells. So we're going to bring in the duresses. We're taking out the clashes because on the draw they're just not as good. We're going to bring in transgress. We're going to bring in negates. I want less languish, even though we do have to have a way to deal with. We're going to bring in the Ruinous Paths for sure too, but we have to have a way to deal with Secure the Waste. So I want at least a couple. Maybe for that reason I just do Flaying Tendrils because they're cheaper. Languish still can't deal with. Languish has no way of dealing with Linvala anyway. So maybe we just dump the Languishes, we'll bring in the 2 Tendrils. And then we can really cut back on some spot removal. I'm going to take out Ultimate Price. Well, it deals with Linvala, but so does Ruinous Path. Well, we probably need Grasps less. Sphinx survives Languish and spot removal, which isn't bad, but our opponent doesn't have counterspell, so it seems just a little bit unnecessary. We can probably afford to take out a couple Grasps. I kind of want the Mind Rot too. So we do have to actually come up with some stuff here. Maybe we just take out the Anticipates. I'm usually okay with that. We have enough card advantage spells in here where that should be fine. And we have the Ruinous Paths. Maybe we can cut back to just 1 Grasp, 1 Ultimate Price to deal with the man lands. That should be fine. Okay, yeah, I feel a lot better about this post-sideboard just because, like I said, we have all this hand disruption, which is really nice. So let's try this again. Okay, so a lot of lands and a gate and a Dark Petition. This hand is particularly susceptible to hand disruption, which I don't love, but I think I'm still going to keep it. Guess I should have played the Sunken Hollow. Okay, so at least we get a Transgress here, which is nice. Let's see what we're up against here. So I got to write this down, of course. Thought Not Seer, which is what we're going to take. And then we've got Grasp, Hallowed Moonlight for our tokens, which means Negate's going to have to come up big on that. And then Secure the Wastes. And Westphale Abbey, too, we can write down. That's fine. As well as the Plains. Got it. So we're going to take our Thought Not Seer, which is, I guess, a pretty good card against us. Takes a card from our hand, forces us to use a removal spell. Also, Ultimate Price does not kill it, which makes me want to just take out the Ultimate Price. Okay, so I assume Negate, maybe Dark Petition. Our opponent did just draw that, too. But you have to assume they sideboarded into some of that as well. Read the Bones. Great top deck here. So let's jam Swamp, get our Read the Bones action on here. Duress and Pieces of the Puzzle. So Duress is going to be able to hit Hallowed Moonlight, Secure the Wastes. So we're going to keep both. Makes sense to me. Okay. Main phase, Secure the Waste, which I don't think is a bad idea. All right. So I guess we want to Pieces first before we Duress. Maybe we do want to duress first, because then we better know what we want from pieces. That probably makes more sense. So, Hallowed Moonlight, I guess we'll take it now, because we just do not care about Grasp of Darkness. And then we'll play our pieces. Ruinous Path, only target we can hit. We are up to a pretty good Rise from the Tides at this point, though. So all we know from our opponent now is that they have Grasp. The rest is taken care of. All right, so we have negates for days. Opponent is still one land from being able to activate the Westvale Abbey. Or, I mean, get enough creatures to activate the Westvale Abbey, but let's just pass. So we are going to go for the Rise. We're going to go for the Rise from the Tides play. Next turn, of course. We still can deal with the Westvale Abbey by bouncing it. Alright, so let's cast our Rise. Only get 4 zombies, though, which I guess isn't that great. So we may have to Ruinous Path a token to keep our opponent off of Westvale Abbey. Aha. So they did bring in Declaration in Stone, as well as Hallowed Moonlight. So they are well prepared for tokens. I kind of wish we had another land so we could really use Ruinous Path effectively here. But our opponent is still, I guess, a turn off from Westvale Abbey. So why don't we just do another Rise for 5 zombies this time? Okay. So we can Ruinous Path that. Do I want the 4/4? I kind of want to leave up Negate. Although we know the last card in our opponent's hand is a Grasp of Darkness, so I think we're going to take off 1 turn from Negate. So we have to tap out. Our opponent's going to grasp the land, I guess, right? So I think we attack with 2 zombies here. Okay, opponent grasps our land creature, as we expected. No attacks, so they're just planning on using Westvale Abbey. Well, the good news is we can pieces and we can tendrils. We might want to wait on the tendrils, but we're going to take it. Oh, I guess we take them both. Okay. But, well, all right. Let's Ruinous Path a warrior token. I mean, I guess we can attack and then tendrils. And it leaves our opponent off of Westvale Abbey for a while. But then our opponent can attack us down to 3, and if we read the bones, it takes us down to 1, which is a bit sketchy. I think we just flaying tendrils for now. Or Ruinous Path for now, because it keeps our opponent off of 5 creatures. So I guess theoretically I could attack with maybe a zombie or 2. So we don't have our Possessed Scab anymore. We have 2 Rise from the Tides in the graveyard, which means we are pretty much left with Crush of Tentacles. We can deal with Westvale Abbey if we find one of our Silumgar's commands. Not what I was expecting our opponent to do. I'm glad they did. It makes me less fearful of the Westvale Abbey. Aha, Gideon. Okay. Well, we are out of Ruinous Path, so that's not exactly something we are capable of dealing with at the moment. Ah, all the negates. I see. So, what is a play we can do? Nothing too crazy here, sadly. So we got to read the bones. There's our Silumgar's command. Okay, that's good news. So, do we want another land? Kind of feel like we need something spicier than a land. But then again, I only have 6, so if I do 7, I can do Silumgar's command plus leave up negate. I probably need both of these cards. Alright, so we'll pass. So we've got negates up, which is good. And we have a means to deal with Gideon, which is good. I'm debating whether it might actually be in our best interest to... I'm trying to think the best way to deal with this. Guess I wouldn't mind so much if he did an emblem. Aha, activating. Okay. That's fine. So I guess we're going to have to tendrils, but that's all right. Or can we tendrils, actually? No, I'm not so sure we can. Because we have to leave up Silumgar's command. Duress. You see. So, alright. Let's duress. I've got 7 minutes left, too. Alright. So we'll counter that. And I have to play quickly here, sadly. I've wasted too much time. Take the languish and pass. Alright. So I have to play quick here. Because I've got 7 minutes, and it's certainly not foreseeable that I could win this game easily. In fact, I mean, I've already busted my Rising Tides. I basically have to play a Crush and protect it, which isn't certain that I can do that. I've been too thoughtful with all of my plays, which I do tend to pontificate a lot when it comes to narrating when I'm playing. I tend to pontificate just way too much. It's just too easy to do, especially with a deck like this that has seemingly infinite options. I'm pretty close to conceding here just to not waste any more of my time. I think it might be in my best interest because I'm trying to think what I can draw that gets me out of this, and it's just not forthcoming. Like, my last win con is Crush. I think I'm just going to concede in the interest of time. I have to try and win in 7 minutes, which I think is going to be difficult with a deck such as ours. So it's probably in our best interest to just let's bring the clashes back in, and let's cut. Let's cut our Ruinous Path. What is the other cut? I guess the Mind Rot. I don't want to cut the Mind Rot, but I think I just like having everything else too much more. So let's do this. I actually think Mind Rot's likely better on the play too. Although maybe it is better. Actually, maybe that's a card that maybe is better on the draw. I don't know. All right, so we're going to be playing quickly. Yes, we're going to keep this. Have to do a bit of F6ing. The problem with F6ing is this deck wants to do counter spells, which makes F6ing more difficult. But we can stay proactive early, which is nice. So let's play that, reveal this, play this. Languish, Duress, Grasp. Got it. So we got rid of a Languish. They have a Duress, which they're not playing. Which is strange. Alright. Lost our Possessed Scab again. Alright, they took our Transgress, which is fascinating. Alright, let's pass. That would indicate to me that they have a Planeswalker. Westvale Abbey is surprisingly a difficult card for us to deal with. Not a lot of land destruction in black and blue. So we obviously negate that. And I'm negating rather than Void Shatter so I can take up my Mage Ring network, but time will tell if that's a better idea or not. I assume it is, because the more free mana we get, the better. We're going to take that. I'm not going to use a Silumgar's command on that. Does not seem worth it. There's our Rise to Matides. I think we're going to have to play a little more patience with that, though. Once we can cast it as well as leave up Void Shatter, we should be in good shape. So I assume my opponent's going to secure some wastes. So Dark Petition, and I guess we can take Read the Bones, because we don't really need Transgress. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to put one more storage counter down and tap. So we can Rise and we can leave up Void Shatter. If my opponent casts Secure there, I probably would just let it resolve. Reality Smasher. Yeah, we're going to let that resolve too. I'd rather be able to counter Declaration. I guess I can't ultimate price that, but that's all right. No attacks. All right. So let's smash here. Opponent takes 8. So we can read some bones, leave up, excuse me, leave up Void Shatter. So I think we'll actually leave the land on top and bottom that. Oh, I can't cast it. Okay. So I can Clash for 3. I've got Void Shatter. Duress is a bit more of a problem, isn't it? I guess we have to Void Shatter. I don't want to, but I feel like I have to. All right, did have the Declaration, which is a bummer, but they would have gotten it anyway. But definitely a bummer. Absolutely what we need to not see at the moment. So we're at 8. We're still not going to die yet. But boy, are we close. So let's Rise. Have to hope their last cards are not ones that can deal with our board. Okay, Gideon we can cope with. Oh, plus the Shambling Vent. And I can't ultimate price either of them. I can grasp, though, so I guess we're okay. Wow, this came right down to the wire, didn't it? All right, that was a close one. Jeez. Wow, super close game. Came right down to it, like I said. There were cards I wasn't expecting in there, like Eldrazi Displacer in Game 2, as well as the Thought-Knot Seer and the Reality Smasher. So our opponent's deck was just a very odd mix of Planeswalkers, Westphal Abbey, Reality Smasher. It was very close. We both sort of had similar game plans, hand disruption, good value plays. Our opponent had a great, multiple Declaration in Stones, multiple Hallowed Moonlights. So they had good outs to our win cons. But ultimately, we were just able to just capitalize enough on big plays in a timely manner to get the win. So that's yeah, that was a very close match. And like I said, Westphal Abbey is definitely a problem. Like, we have Silumgar's command to bounce it once they've sacked and made it, but I mean that's a pretty good answer, but I don't know if I maybe want more or something like that. In this game, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal, but it could be. All right, we'll see you in the final match of the day.